Welcome to Roleplay Cafe. It's Dale here, along with Todd, Eric, Doon, and our esteemed GM, John, on 34 session of Alien RPG. So we'll get to it, deep into it. Take it away,
All
John.
right. All right. So we have the whole crew back again, and we are going to find out what is going on at the mother colony. Last time, the group um, basically was recovering from their first encounter with a brood of aliens, um, and found out that the there was an unexpected ship that arrived in orbit of Aljana, which is the prospective colony that they've been investigating. They seemed almost unanimously that this is probably a bad place to create a colony based off of all the things that they've ran into so far. Uh, but they made their way back up from the caverns that they discovered underneath, that seemed to be built by some uh, intelligent alien race. Um, and on the way out, they had some trouble with uh, going up the rope, and uh, when there were still only about half of them were up, they saw that there were these spidery creatures with these long segmented legs and a whip-like tail, several of them coming in their direction, running along the walls and the ceiling and the floor. Uh, and they gave some warning, and they all made it up in time before these things reached them. No one was on the ground. However, Cliff was going up last, uh, and these things were chasing him up the rope as the auto ascender pulled him up. As soon as he got to the top, they cut the rope, and they saw these things tumble down to the floor, unable to reach them. So the group decided that they need to get back up onto their ship, the Solovetsky Island, in case these new arrivals were dangerous. And so they quickly loaded up into their dropship, and I believe it was Cliff, or no, I'm sorry, not Cliff, it was Kip that flew the ship up there. Um, and they, Dudge, their pilot, who was in the Solovetsky Island, was putting in uh, jump coordinates so that they could make a quick escape. So Kip had to do some fancy piloting to land inside of the docking bay. He did. He was successful. No one was injured, but he did cause a fire in the airlock, the main airlock where all the vac suits were. And in order to put that out, they opened up the airlock, which sucked out a lot of oxygen, put the fire out. Unfortunately, it sucked all the vac suits out into space. They still had a handful of other airlocks, but not enough for the entire crew. But because it was an emergency, they made the jump successfully. They had to, Dudge had to do some fancy piloting to avoid colliding with this ship because it seemed to be kind of trying to block their path, and they sent some sort of landing party out in a small ship. Thankfully, Dudge was able to avoid that, and they made the jump and successfully lost whoever these people were. The ship was that approached them was kind of like a junker type ship, like it was cobbled together from lots of other ships. It had no It wasn't broadcasting any sort of signal, so they didn't know who it belonged to.
They sent
But
they sent a like something at our ship, and it reached our engine, but maybe it was a drop ship. Maybe it was
yeah,
a
Yeah, yeah. So it was essentially a drop ship that with a boarding party that they were trying to avoid, and they were tracking. The Dudge was tracking them through external cameras that shows different areas of the hull, and uh, yeah, that's why you guys, you know, were Dutch had to do that fancy maneuver to lose that landing party before it would land on their ship or on the engine. So the group, you know, got gathered themselves, recovered from the horrible experience they had both on the planet and escaping, and they were ready to get back to the mother colony. And it took about 3 weeks of travel to arrive back, uh, even at FTL speed. This is Aljana was pretty far away from the mother colony, and unfortunately, when they arrived, they saw that the Ilyanla, the main ship that the generation ship that everyone arrived in, was spinning, still in orbit, but completely unpowered. There was no lights on, and it had no control. It was just tumbling through space around the orbit around the planets. And they tried contacting it, no response. They tried contacting uh, the main communications in the mother colony. There was no response. So they started trying people directly. They got a odd response from someone in the governor's office. It's a woman who did not want them to respond over the comms. She was afraid that someone was going to hear it and pleaded for their help before the connection was cut off. They reached out to someone else and got a response um, from someone who did not quite seem to know what to do with the return of the Solovetsky Island. He seemed to be consulting someone or coming up with reasonings as to why the Solovetsky Island should stay in orbit around the planet and not attempt to dock with the Ilyanla or come down to the mother colony. They thought crews thought that was kind of fishy, so they decide that they need to come down, and they swung around the uh, opposite side of the planet and was approaching the outpost that was constructed by the Gorham pirates. Uh, Thankfully, they were happy to see that there were some colonial marines stationed there. There were several APCs, and they could see that there was probably at least a few dozen marines there. They contacted the communications tower and were guided to land on a particular pad. And after landing and exiting the ship, they were greeted by a small squad of Marines, as well as General Ozelinski, whom they were both directly responsible for the death of and transported his body from this location back to the mother colony. So they have handled his body, know him to be dead, but here he is, alive and apparently well, standing before them. So that is where we're going to pick up. So, what is everyone standing there? I guess assume some are slack jawed, probably particularly Kip and Cliff.
I am. Dr. Bircher raises his arm halfway and almost speaks, and then he's transfixed. But I am observing this individual for the likeness, for the texture of the skin, for any abnormalities. I'm just looking for. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? His
Yeah.
aplomb is what is going on, and
Uh,
yeah,
they,
if there's not too many guards, I'm going to walk up to him. You know.
uh, Yeah, I mean, they don't block your path or anything. As you're approaching him, when you're looking at him, nothing
Much.
seems off. Uh, but there also doesn't seem to be any sort of like, you know, injury to him, as though he may have. It's not like he wasn't actually dead and they healed him. He seems perfectly fine. Um, Nothing quite seems off about him. I mean, you haven't had a lot of personal interaction with him. It seems like him, uh, and
I'm
he
going to ask him right now, General, how are you feeling? Uh, I am, then I'll straighten up. I'm Dr. Bircher, and I'll stick out my hand.
uh,
May I examine you?
um I it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Bircher.
Don't worry,
And
that's how he greets everybody.
feeling
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right.
I'm definitely out of sorts. I'm just looking him all over while he's talking to me, up and down and all around and whatever. And I'm kind of taking a step back and almost turning him with my hand as I say that. May I examine you? Are you all right? So
I'm perfectly fine. Thank you. I and he's kind of taken aback a little bit by your
now,
inspection
how is
of
his
him,
skull?
as
How's his skin? Is he
his
sweating or
skin's
cold?
he doesn't seem fine. I mean, he seems fine. He doesn't seem abnormally cool or hot. He's not sweating.
A little
Um,
observation.
but sure, yeah.
Okay.
4 successes. Wow.
Oh.
So he seems. I will actually. Why don't we just do this with questions instead of me proposing information to you? Why don't
Got
you?
you.
You can ask me 4 things about him, and I will answer them.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, I was just wanting to get the whole context of who he was. I'm listening for his voice. Is it human? I've come in contact with other, seemingly infected individuals and whatnot. I'm looking for any infection whatsoever since I've been kind of trained in
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Discoloration, but the first, like, there's going to be a question about how I can access um, his speech if it seems normal, his mannerisms, like his whole countenance, as far as is it human to me? You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All right.
There's
Yes.
any abnormality off.
So yeah. So you have you get no sense that he is infected. He sounds like exactly the way you've seen him and heard him speak several times over the course of the campaign. He is. There's nothing about his mannerisms or like color, the way he sounds. His eyes don't have like black or anything in them. You get no sense that he is anything but a normal human.
Or synthetic.
Um,
Maybe. Normal
like even
synthetic.
I was asking him questions. You don't seem infected. As I'm turning around just to hear him response. But I'll glance at the others too, because it triggers like are any of the others infected? Are his retinue of
Right.
people here? What are they? And then I'll take a notice of their allegiance, their uniforms. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yes. So the other Marines that are around him, they don't seem sick, although they are. They're dressed. They have helmets on, heavy equipment, armor, stuff. So you can't see anything but their face, essentially. But none of them seem infected. They are wearing standard colonial marine armor. Um, you've had lots of interaction with Marines at your time at the mother colonies, so nothing seems off about them.
Back away
Regular
from him for a
cliffs.
second. Yeah, and for the third, I'll just look at him and say, "Excuse me, sir. Or excuse me, General. We just, we, frankly, we thought that you were dead."
We heard reports that everyone at the colony was
Uh,
saying it before we left. I'll say that. Sorry.
I want to see his
You see,
reaction when I say that. In other words,
you see a look of confusion come across his face. Dead. Thankfully not. I'm very much alive, as you can see,
yes, it
and you hear
appears
some of
so.
the Marines laugh a little bit. And hopefully it stays that way because we got quite the situation over in the mother colony. In
Does he have
fact,
a dog tag on?
Hmm. You're gonna need to
uh,
inspect him a little
he,
closer.
I mean, you don't see
I mean, I
one,
would see
so
it
just
around his
he's
neck
wearing.
unless they're not wearing it like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's wearing an officer's uniform, so they don't normally or officers don't normally have them just hanging out like enlisted men do.
I mean, the cool
Uh,
ones do, but whatever.
The cool,
So
the cool
you
colonial ones.
do not see any dog tags like like the remnants of a chain around them that would normally hang around his neck. It could just be tucked inside the collar. Uh, you don't know.
Now we're near the area that got where he was supposedly killed at, right?
That's
You are
correct.
in the building or outside the building
Yeah,
where it happened.
Does
Yeah.
the
I'll make a
building look
sweeping.
destroyed still?
Just the
What's that?
stairwell.
Does the building look destroyed still, or
Oh,
heavily
oh
damaged?
yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely damaged. I
But
mean,
I'll make a
when
sweeping
one wall
gesture toward
collapsed.
that, like that. Well, right there is where we saw you lie, you know, in the rubble, and then I'll take a half step toward that to see if there's uh any location of the individual that we presumed was the general.
I'm going to say, like you can gesture towards the wall, but you can't. I mean, you'd have to go down into the building to actually
That's what I'm.
try to
That's what
find
I'm
like his
doing.
blood or something.
That's what I'm
Maybe
doing.
that's what
He's intrigued by what is going on here. So Bircher's heading
um.
that way. Just they
Oh,
can take over there, but
oh,
that's where Birch is going.
okay. So, I mean, his response to you, like when you gesture that we found your body right over here. He says, I can assure you that I you must have me confused with someone else because it wasn't me. I'm perfectly fine,
Yes, yes. And
as you
then I
can
look
see.
disheveled and kind of that's when I'm walking away to the building.
Okay,
I'm
so
preoccupied with finding the answer there.
yeah, so he kind of like watches you make your way past the Marines and go down into the building, which they just emerged from. The general looks to everyone else and says, "I've Dr. Bircher is quite an interesting fellow." Um, and he looks over at Cliff and says, do we know Cliff's last name? Did we establish that?
Cliff's last name is Ward.
Ward. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, and we established you're a corporal, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we
Uh,
kind of just threw it out there. It's like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So the general looks over at Cliff and says, "Corporal Ward, it is good to see you. I hope you've been taking care of this crew. We can use all the hands we can get with this situation we have going on."
Well, I've been trying my damnedest too. We did have an incident on a planet we just got back from. Saying you do look a lot better without your head smashed in and your lower half of your body not completely destroyed.
He looks at you for a second and says, You think
Oh no, I don't think I know. I was there.
I I don't know what to say. I I'm I'm fine. I
Where were
I'm
you
willing.
on, at Stardate, whatever, at the
Yeah,
time?
because
I
me and
was
my friend over here, no point to Kip, had a little altercation here with some pirates, and you were in this building. Uh,
pirates.
yeah, because this base outpost, I guess, was overrun with pirates last time we were here. We didn't know anybody had gone over here. When we came back, we found something was going on funny here at the colony, and this was the first place we came to, and you guys were here.
I can assure you I've had no interactions with any pirates.
How many other people are with him?
We'll say 6. There's 6 Marines there with them.
Oh, 6 Marines. Okay. Of course it would be. Yeah.
Going above board here. Oh, Todd, were you done talking? I'm sorry.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Yeah. Go
Okay. Didn't we get like a notepad from him that said he did have interaction with pirates?
Yes. So you found a compad that described his communications with over a certain period of time with the Gorham pirates, and that is where you got some of the clues and their
Isn't that what helped?
the frequencies and stuff that they communicated over.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so what are you actually doing here?
Well, we've had yet another situation get out of control over at the mother colony. There was a large riot that began to take place in the quarantine, in those that are quarantined, and they managed to overpower the Marines that were ensuring their containment and took over the entire mother colony. I don't know how they gathered and unified such a large portion of those that went through Dr. Bircher's screening process. But it was overwhelming, and we saw we had no choice but to regroup back here and come up with a plan for retaking the mother colony.
So you're saying that the doctor's screening process was imperfect?
Oh, I don't think it was imperfect at all. I just don't understand how they convince such a large portion of the population to take control of the entire colony. It's I don't know who's behind it. There must have been some sort of driving force.
All right.
Am I? Where we're still just all standing there in the same place?
Everybody but Dr. Bircher is standing there. Yes.
Okay. I'm kind of annoyed with this general dude. Yoko kind of gives a general look and says, "So, you're confused that what most of the people want is that the will of the people is being honored?"
My concern is that there's some external influence that is subverting the will of the people. Most of the people that we placed into quarantine were happy to do so and wanted to clear up this contamination that was taking place. They understood the consequences of it. But I don't know when that changed and who was responsible for it.
Will we, as far as what the people want, that's not our doing, but we Dr. Bircher has done very good work making sure that his protocols can, and we've been trying our best to make sure that whatever contaminant was affecting the colony was contained and taken care of as best we can to protect the colony itself. Clearly, we didn't do a good enough job. What is the status of the colony now?
Well, when we last left the forces the from the quarantine had overpowered the security forces, and I tried to maintain order and push back and take control of the ground floor, but we were forced to leave. I don't know what the conditions of the office level and the security level are. There should still be a large number of Marines there that hopefully are keeping those levels secure to prevent whoever is responsible for this from taking over the entire building.
Well, are you planning to help them with that, or are you planning to, or are you just planning to build your station here?
No, I've read the reports of this place and thought it may be a good base of operations to regroup and come up with a plan of attack. And that's when you arrived.
Where were you before
There,
this?
was inside of the mother colony, ensuring the operations of the security forces.
Have you been up to the Ilanya in the past? Since in the past
Cliff kind of like
years,
puffs his cheeks
Months?
out, blowing out air, and kind of looks over at Kip. Kind of under his breath, he's like, "Hard to do from a body bag." All thing I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. We saw what we saw.
Yeah.
So, General, have you been up to the Ilanya in the past several months?
Yes, probably a half a dozen times in the past several months. I'm not sure how that's relevant. Surely the Ilyanla is all right.
I give a look. It should be clear. I don't say anything.
Did you see the Ilyanla when you arrived in the system?
if
Surely before you came down here.
if the Ilanya was in boardable shape, we would be there, not here. I'll just say.
How did they? That must mean that they have full control of the mother colony to be able to take ships up there. There's no other way that they could have arrived on the Ilyanla other than through drop ships.
We've encountered some ships with unusual technology in the past when we were last here. I'm not sure how much of that encounter or those encounters and that technology has been made available. How much of that information has been made available to you? But are you familiar with stealth technology that allows ships to escape the detection from radar and even visual?
Yes, I have read some reports about that, but I mean, these people were in quarantine. How could they have access to such a thing? Perhaps we should go inside and discuss this in a more comfortable setting. I'm sure you need something to eat or even drink, seeming all you've gone through.
I'm all for that.
Thank you. We are here to support you if you are planning on taking back the mother colony. I am here to. I assume my friends are.
Well, we'll
I
see.
appreciate that. Could certainly use the help. As you can see, there's only a few dozen of us. I just hope that I have more men alive and well inside of those upper floors.
Colonial Marines are strong. I'm sure that there are. I'm sure that there are. I'm sure there are.
All right. He, uh, gestures for you to come with him into the um, the communications tower. As you go inside, you can see the collapsed wall. And Dell, I assume Dr. Bircher is looking around in the rubble, trying to
Yeah.
verify someone died there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I suppose if that
um,
helps. Looking for any
oh
scrap
no,
of
you didn't.
evidence.
Oh no, you didn't have to roll observation.
Okay.
So yeah, so make sure that you shouldn't be panicking. I don't think so. You make sure you clear that because
Okay.
um, you still have one success from your previous roll, actually, from the information
Gotcha.
I gave you. So, yeah, you started going through the rubble where, Kip and Cliff described the wall collapsing, and you can see there's definitely blood under there. There's a pretty big pool in underneath of the main portion of the wall, and there is also like drag marks of blood from most likely dragging the body out from underneath the rubble.
Oh shit.
Oh, man. So there's no body there, just the evidence of a body that was previously there.
Yes.
Hey, I want to take a sample of the blood and any
Okay.
tissue I find.
Yeah, you are
Once
able to.
level. Okay. I will hurriedly try to excuse myself. We're close to the drop ship, and I believe I have at least some kind of
Yeah, you have like very basic, uh, you know, medical equipment inside of there.
yeah.
Depending on what you want to do, I can
Yeah. I
tell
just
you.
I'll pause by the general and say, General, what is your blood type?
Oh, A negative.
Thank you, sir. And I'll walk hurriedly to the ship to
Okay.
test it.
So, all right.
Hey,
Yeah. So,
John, I just
uh,
remembered something. Oh, you guys keep going. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Never
no, no,
mind.
no. I was just going to
Yeah.
say that we'll cut back to Doctor Bircher finds at this test.
Yep.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Eric?
I just remembered something that everybody was making fun of me of when we encountered Cliff or Udalinsky before.
What was that?
I took a picture of his dead body.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I want to pull that up, and as we're looking at that, I was
Okay.
like, "Hey, last time I
yeah.
seen this, it looked like this." And I'll kind of hold it up where his body kind of lines up, and it's clearly him on it. I'm assuming.
You have all the evidence. You have
Uh,
the dog tags.
Yep.
yeah. It's
Explain that.
it's not clearly him, but I mean, it's his entire torso and stuff was crushed. I assume
Man,
there's
this is
blood all over his face.
This says
But he
Zelensky,
says,
not O Zelensky. The O is clearly
Oh,
silent.
yeah,
That was silent. Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
oh,
There's
that's
so
fine.
many Inskis here. I just get them all confused.
Uh, so yeah, so you're showing it to him specifically?
I'm showing
Like,
everybody in the room, and I'm making a big hubbub about it. I'm like, "Oh, hey, look at this!"
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing
yeah,
him last
so
night.
some of the Marines kind of are watching. Ozelinski is particularly interested, and he's looking at it very closely and saying that that does look very similar to me.
Yes, it
Where
does.
you took that here? How long
Mm-hmm.
ago?
What was that? Probably about 4 weeks. Well, how long did it take to jump back and forth? It'd be about a month, maybe a
Um,
couple
2
weeks.
months.
yeah,
Which,
we're probably looking at a month and a half, something like
okay,
that. Since this probably happened,
yeah,
so you're going to be honest and say the actual amount of
yeah. I'm not gonna.
time. Okay, that's fine.
Just
He's
yesterday. No.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I
In a
gotta
couple
keep
minutes, you don't start
Like
answering my
Dungeons
questions.
and
Let's
then-
go.
He says, I I was not out here 6 weeks ago. There's no way this is me, but the appearance is uncanny. I can understand the confusion.
I'm
And you
gonna.
hear one of the Marines pipe up, and he says, like, "Yeah, there's blood all over it. That could be anybody."
I'm gonna take this point and I'm gonna lift up his dog tag where I had it stored. I'm gonna say it's right next to mine. I go, yeah, and I think this is yours too. It says your name on it.
And he looks at the dog tags and
I
says,
don't let him touch it, but I make sure to keep it in my hand.
"Okay."
It's like you can
He
look, don't
says,
touch.
"I those are those are mine." But and he kind of feels around his neck and says, I don't have them. Where did you get these?"
From your corpse that was sitting right here. I just showed you
Like
the
we
picture.
said, yeah, yeah.
I I don't know how to explain that. I assumed I left them in my quarters.
Hmm.
I
Maybe. I mean, just to alleviate everybody's concerns here. Maybe if we would like maybe subject yourself to a blood test or some sort. Maybe let Doc Bircher there have a look at you and confirm that everything's on the up and up here. I mean, you wouldn't mind because
Yeah.
you are you, right? So I mean, you got nothing to hide, right?
You hear the Marines uh start grumbling about this and say, "We don't have time for this shit, General. We need to take that place back. You can do all of." Then they look at you guys and say, You can do all of these tests afterwards."
The general here.
Yeah, I think, Sarah, this is totally up to you, but I would want to know because there is definitely some shit going down, and if where we came from is any indication, it's going to be a lot harder than just cooling some uh, revolting rebels.
Well, you can see, he's both considering, what the Marine just said and what you're saying. It's like, I guess it's not going to take up any of my time if you just want to draw some blood uh, and we can start discussing our plan while the tests are being done. Uh, why don't
Yeah.
why don't we get Dr. Bircher in here, and
Yes.
I'll submit myself to this examination. But we seriously need to start planning what it is that we're going to do.
Sir, I'm 100% in your camp on helping you. I just want a peace of mind after seeing somebody literally saw die in front of me. You've got to understand that.
I guess I do. And he says, he yells over to one of the Marines to go find Dr. Bircher. And so we're going to cut to Dr. Bircher. He is inside the dropship doing some tests on the blood. And
Microscope. Yep.
yeah, and the tests come back that, I mean, this is A negative blood. Um, it is human. You can't verify the DNA with the equipment that you have here, like against the records that are inside of the system. But I mean, it matches everything that he told you, and it looks human. So that's about all you have. If you have something to compare it against, you might be
I'm,
more
I'm
confident.
sure when they Marines walk in, I'm looking perplexed and looking up from the microscope
Okay.
and looking at the test results. And I'm certainly entertaining the idea a twin. And then when the Marines come in and notify me that I can get a blood sample, uh, I from him, I tell them to go bring the good general in where I can, be sit him in here and take the test,
Uh,
in quarantined area or
I
sterile
think
area.
the general specifically requested that we come get you, and so that you can conduct your evaluation while we plan our course of action for taking back the mother colony.
All right, I sigh a little bit of these leather necks and grab hold of my stethoscope to calm down a little bit and all right, lead me on. And I'll follow them out there.
All right.
Short, quick, rapid walking to
All right.
get there.
So you arrive inside of the back in the comms tower, and you can see, like, you can just feel the tension in the room as as you come inside. Uh, the general is having the Marines clear out some destroyed computer systems, so you can start coming up with some sort of map or something. And your crew is kind of, I don't know. I imagine that you're kind of like whispering amongst yourselves and waiting for Bercher to show up. So is Bercher just going to
I'll
immediately
go
conduct
straight there. I'll have the equipment with me to draw some blood, and
Okay.
if it is mobile enough, I'll just bring the little uh, little
Yeah. It's
testing
kind of like a
mechanism off, with
it's like a small it's a small device that you can put blood samples into. You can
I'll
carry it.
hurry and sit beside him and wipe off the dust in the area and set the little machine down and look at him
Okay.
expectantly like your arm, please.
Yeah, he's distracted, but he gives you his arm, and you put the needle in and start uh,
I thump his vein a couple
drawing.
of good hard times and then put the needle in.
Yeah, and white liquid starts to fill up the syringe when you draw it back.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Yay.
my eyes go big and I keep quiet, or at least I'm gonna try to. I don't know if this is a little bit stressful for me, but I shift my eyesight over to my colleagues and first Yoko and see if any of them are looking at me. And I'll take the
I would assume
vial.
that some of them are.
No
Yeah,
equipment
Yeah,
right there.
sure. I'm
there,
with
right
you.
there.
I'm with you.
Those
I'm looking
thumbs
at
up.
you. Sure.
You see
Yeah,
me
so
very
I,
uncomfortable.
once I recognize what's happening, I start talking to Ozelinsky because I want him to look at me. I don't want to look at his arm or whatever.
Okay, good move, Yoko.
So what's the plan of attack? Is what I say. I don't want to lose. I don't want to shoot civilians, even if they are armed.
I completely agree with you. I think the problem is going to be determining who is a non-combatant and who is. It was almost impossible to be able to distinguish between the two in the chaos. So I want to be clear. What is Dr. Bircher doing to try to hide this? Because he has this big vial of blood. Is he obscuring it from everybody except his crew?
Yeah, I'm not
Or
taking I just wanted a sample, not like a colostomy bag full or anything. I'm just talking about like a little sample, but once I see it start coming out, I'm going to abbreviate that.
Yeah, you just stop. You
Okay.
pull. You
Yeah.
great.
It's not like I'm gonna stare at it as it fills up, like, you know what I mean?
Keep squirting.
Pour me-
Let it slowly fill up. Squirt.
Like I'm milking a cow or something. I'm just like, I'll stop it right when I see it and kind of just stop and pull out like, that's enough. I just glance at the guys, cover my help, what Yoko picked up on. And
Yeah.
I'm halfway wanting to keep it away from the other two trigger happy jacks,
I mean,
and
I'm right there.
There's
So
more than two
luck.
there. There's about a half. There's the 6 that you came in with, and 10 others that are inside of the room. But they're
Well,
He was talking about us, John.
yeah, I was talking about
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know that they're close to me, so I saw Yoko and Yoko jumped in and did what they did. But I'll try to stop it as soon as possible and pocket it or put it in the machine and that like it's
Okay.
normal, except for my
Okay. So,
hyperventilating.
all right. So if you're gonna, try to do it real quickly and pocket it, that I'm gonna need you to do a mobility test in order to successfully, you know, obscure the. Okay. So you didn't get any successes. Would you like to push? Oh boy.
My hand's shaking with the vial.
Oh
I'm trying to drop it
no!
on the ground.
The best
He's
possible outcome.
He's definitely dropping it. So yeah, your hand shaking as you try to, disconnect the vial.
Yeah,
And
it shoots
you
across the room.
you see two Marines look over in your way and you panic and it slips out of your hands and hits the ground and shatters, leaving white liquid everywhere. And the two Marines that were looking at you say, "What the fuck?"
Looks like his blood
He's a-
type's 2%.
He's a fucking synth. And
Yeah, I'm going
Ozelinski's-
to immediately drop to the floor to pick up the vial, which is the cover for me just duck and cover. I'm trying to get the hell out of there as quick as possible.
Okay. Yeah, so you fall to the ground and try to make your way out. And Ozelinski, Ozelinski looks around the room and realizes what happened and looks down onto the ground. And you see something in his eyes shift. And he swings his arm around to attack one of the Marines nearby and hits him straight in the chest. And he collapses to the ground, not unconscious. He just did a right hook and dropped this Marine to his knees for a second. And you see all emotion has left Ozelinski's face.
Mhm.
And he looks like he is ready to fight. So we're
Get
going
ready
to
rumble.
have to, we're going to have to
Fight and flight.
roll
Birch's
initiative
flight.
here.
What'd you
Birch
say?
is going to run.
Fly?
Is that what you said?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm already scrambling on my hands and knees. I'm half panicked anyway, chasing down that vial. While everybody else is kicking it around and whatnot. But
Oh no, it broke. It broke. And
I know it
like,
did. I'm just trying to throw some
Okay.
imagery in there. It's pantomiming like I'm trying to find something, but it's a way to get out of harm's way.
Okay. So who is going to actually attack him? Is anybody?
I'm in.
Uh,
I'm in. I'm in.
yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
I kind of want to restrain him, though. Don't you think, Kip?
You know what, find out what he.
Kip's just
Okay.
gonna be on full auto.
Yeah.
Shit. That's the only setting I've got.
He's got it.
All right,
welded
you know
to
what?
full auto.
I've welded it. Yeah. No, I'll. I was gonna say butt stroke him, but you guys always take that the wrong way.
I mean, yeah. What other way is there to take it?
All
right,
Cares
I'm gonna-
what the other soldiers are doing. Are the other soldiers like like they said?
They're-
A synth, and then are they?
I
Like,
mean,
really
as
gonna
soon as I
shoot
see
it?
him attack a
Shoot him?
soldier, I'm in
They're-
combat mode.
So I mean, there's confusion amongst all of the soldiers right now. They don't,
Okay.
all of a
Good,
sudden
okay.
their commanding officer just punched one of them in the face after they heard someone just say he's a fucking synth. So they're not like ready to kill him, but they're confused as to what exactly they should be doing. This is,
I mean,
this is their boss
yeah.
essentially.
kind of above table again. Synths aren't known to be like some kind of evil presence
No?
infiltrating society or something, right? They're just
No, synths
they just
are
really look like people, but they're robots.
right. The synths So the UN considers synths to be citizens, although they're not treated very well. They're more like second-class citizens. There is some kind of, discrimination against them. A lot of people don't consider them to be like they deserve citizenship, uh, or personhood, but they are essentially androids for the most part. They're visibly look human, but when you actually inspect them, they are obviously synthetic. They are capable of some emotions, although some people think that they're simulated rather than actual emotions. Um, so yeah, it's kind of across the board, but they're not considered an evil presence or anything like
Can
that.
they be
Okay.
can they be programmed? Like if I wanted to program a synth to do something specific?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll attack him, but I'm trying to restrain him somehow. I don't know if there's something in the room that I can restrain him. I should be really familiar with this room by now. Uh, a
So
little different without the fire and stuff, but
yeah, it's not as much light.
yeah, yeah, that's a little dark. Uh,
Rifle butt to the
So what I
face.
mean, why don't you give me? I mean, are you looking for something in the room, or are you just trying to come up with what you want to do? I don't know if you're
uh,
asking me for something.
I mean, if you want to say there's something in there, I'm kind of like throwing it out there for, I guess, the group if they're willing to help with it as well.
All right.
I'm just kind of throwing out what I'm thinking right now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll go
Are you
along with you
thinking
on
like
that one.
you're
Some
looking for like
brewing.
rope or wiring or
I don't
something
know
to
where
restrain?
anything that stands out. I don't. I assume I don't have my weapon out right now, which is the only thing. I don't know. Is it? It's a what a pre-action to take it out and then, or a move action or
Yeah,
something?
it's a fast action
Fast
to
action. That's right.
take it out. Yep.
You don't even have your armor, huh? You're like
I do
running.
have the armor. I got fixed
Oh,
on
it
the ship
fixed.
on the way back from.
Yeah, I would imagine that you would have put it on before
Oh,
you
that's right. You
got
did. We did fix
got
it on the
there.
return trip. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect then. Yeah, why don't you just tackle the dude? or whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
Yoko's not gonna. Trusts Kip and Cliff to be able to handle the general, and so Yoko's focused on ushering or helping Berger escape unscathed. So that's what I'm thinking immediately.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, as far as something to restrain him with, I can't think of anything that would be in this room. I mean, you could certainly grab something and try to smack him over the head with it.
Let
I'm
me
just gonna
let me
But
try
uh,
to hit him in the legs to try to slow his movement down. I guess.
shoot
I'm gonna
him.
No,
oh,
just
oh.
like put
Actually, you
like
pretty much can, right?
hand to
We,
hand
we,
Oh,
combat
okay.
type stuff.
Okay. All right.
we
Sure.
like to dismember synthetics in Alien Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want, yeah. So if you want to grab, like part of like a
I don't
broken
care if
piece
there's
of
like a
furniture
crowbar or
or
something on the
rubble.
ground or
Yeah.
something. I'll just
Sure.
pick it
Yeah.
into the.
I'll assume that there's a piece of
Scrap metal.
rebar or
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
was
Wood and
inside of
clay.
the wall, structuring it that you could grab and use that.
Sweet.
Okay,
And
I
I'm
don't
going
like
to
how you said there's something in the wall. You know, it makes me
Second
think that if I get bad roll, the building's gonna collapse. But
Oh no, that
I
piece is
want to go.
holding the wall up.
time,
All
what
right,
was the rescue? Is crushed to
He
death by this
died.
building?
Yeah, he dies the same way.
he's
All
stuck
right,
in a loop.
go ahead and do your close
All
combat
right,
roll.
this is a strength check, so I'll have the pass the limit talent. That means I can push twice if I want to.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. And
I'll go ahead and do the
that's
first one.
only if you don't get
Don't.
any
I got
warnings.
two. Yeah, I
All
got
right.
two.
You got two
Really?
successes. Do
Yes.
you want to push?
I think I'm happy with two.
Okay. So yeah, and you said you're like going you're not trying to kill him, just
No, I'm just trying to
disable him.
immobilize them right now.
Okay. Yeah, so you swing really hard at his knee, uh knowing synths don't have like arteries or anything like that. You're not going to try to stab him with it, but you hit his knee really hard and it buckles.
Could with
And you
2
hear
successes,
something.
can I like pin his foot to the ground with it?
Uh, Not with 2 successes.
Okay.
If you had pushed, I would have and gotten 3 or 4. I would have certainly
Okay.
let you
Nope,
do that.
I didn't.
But
So, all right.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the knee buckles and you feel something in his joint break when that happens. And he falls down, loses his balance, and is on the ground. But he is quickly responding. He does not seem to be feeling any pain or anything like that, which you didn't expect him to.
Uh,
So
can
go
anyone
ahead.
get a hold of Gaius?
Gaius.
Isn't that the synth that was
Oh,
helping us?
that's who you. That's right. That's who you tried to contact. You tried to contact Gaius when
Oh,
you
okay.
got that guy that was confused. That you were talking to Hans. Who was talking like Han Solo
Okay.
in Star
Oh.
Wars.
Yep.
I was
Okay.
trying to remember who contact or who you were trying to contact. Um, so you're pretty confident that you won't have that Gaius cannot be
Okay.
contacted from
All right.
here.
I just kind of
Uh,
shot that out in the ether there for anybody.
okay.
That's the only other synth I know that I'm aware of.
All right. So Kip,
Yeah.
what is Kip doing? He just saw Pip take his knee out.
I am at the same time judiciously applying the stock of my rifle
Okay.
to
To
his
his butt.
jaw.
Oh, okay. To his jaw.
Yes. All right. Okay.
Okay.
And so this
Yeah.
close
So
combat.
yep.
Okay, here you go.
Oh, push that.
You want to push?
Hell yeah.
Wait, you have 0. Oh no, wait, never mind. You're not stressed. Sorry.
I'm not
Go ahead.
stressed. Okay, here we go. And push.
There we go.
2
There we
successes. All
go.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Take that.
so yeah, the butt of your rifle comes down and connects solidly with his temple, and you can see that his skin has come away here, where you connected, and white liquid is pouring out uh, really quickly,
Out of
uh,
where?
only out of the wound on his temple,
Okay, that's what I
uh,
was going for. Yeah.
and so there's a big uh kind of tag of flesh that's just hanging off of his face. You would expect this to either kill or knock a human unconscious, but he seems barely affected by this.
Skin
And
tag.
he he gets back up onto his onto his feet from his knees. And that is when several of the Marines are going to open fire on him. They are going to be careful not to
Who hit us?
shoot any of you. Give me just 1 second. Wait, why didn't that roll? There we go. Actually, I'm going to roll for 5 of them.
Okay, he's dead. He's so dead.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah,
Stop.
yeah, yeah. So they all have pulse rifles, and the first one, someone starts firing, and then several other people join in, and he's basically taken like maybe 4 or 5 dozen rounds to the chest. And then the last guy just kind of unloads his entire clip into his chest, and uh, there is basically a giant pile or pool of white liquid that is surrounding his body. And the Marine that killed him, she takes off her helmet and spits on his corpse and says, "I hate fucking synths." And she walks out of the room.
Who walked out of the
So
room? Sorry,
his
sorry. Who
the
walked out of the
marine
room?
the last marine that unloaded
Oh,
her
okay.
clip into him
Mhm.
uh seems you know exhausted and just leaves the room with the whole situation. There is no way that, I mean, you could attempt to try to activate him again, but he has taken so much damage at this point that the likelihood of you being able to bring him back online to interrogate him is pretty small. There is a chance that you could hook him up to a computer to download, uh, download memories or that sort of thing for analysis. But you're pretty confident that the general is dead once again.
Okay, status quo. Whew, that was close.
Yeah, hey, that was a nice hit.
Thanks. Same with you.
I'm gonna say that's your signature move because you did that to that mortician guy too.
Yeah.
So
You
is
know,
it
on
a
a bunch
match, Dr. Bircher?
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're
Uh,
rolling.
I look at Yoko as I'm walking back in. We said that and kind of give a little eye roll. They're not
So
too obnoxiously so.
one of the Marines says, "What the fuck do we do now, man?"
Game over.
Game over. Yeah.
We stick to the plan. Nothing has changed except the general is no longer in charge. Uh, I mean, as as the colonial expeditionary captain leaders of the mission of the mission, we will take control of this. We will take control of this operation, and continue to and save the colony. What's in all of our best interests. Agreed. And I look at all the soldiers.
They kind of look around and say, I I'm not comfortable with a bunch of civvies being in charge. Maybe we need to wait for the lieutenant to show up. He's been out on patrol. I say we try to call him.
You haven't tried that before? Is that the first? It's in
Sending out a
fucking
long
handbook.
range.
You're supposed to do that.
Sending the long range signals may not be the best idea right now, considering
Yeah,
the
we're not
state of the
supposed
mother
to.
colony.
We're not supposed to be doing that.
This is why you're not in
So
charge,
it's like,
kid.
why did you do that? Oh yeah.
He's over there dialing everybody. I got to call my mom.
We're gonna follow
I don't know,
colonial
man.
protocol until otherwise until it becomes clear that we need to do something differently.
All right. So
Fine,
what?
man.
Well,
I
hold on. What do we know right now? Only thing we know is that I can't remember the name of the ship. I keep having Zelensky's name stuck in my head whenever I think of the ship.
Which ship? The one in orbit?
Was it Iliandra? That's it.
Ilyanla.
Iliandra. That's right. That's where we heard. We got we got in contact with. The girl was near inaudible, but she wants.
No. So you got no response from the Ilyanla. The person you spoke to was in the governor's office. That was the woman who needed help.
Oh, okay.
And the governor's office is in the office level, which synthetic Ozelinski was hoping was still under the control of the Marines.
And I don't. Whatever he was saying, I don't trust. So.
And
I
it's a little
mean,
unclear. It's unclear who's in peril, but
Yoko, can you hook him up to a computer to see if we can get anything from him, from the bits and pieces of him that are left while we're kind of assessing the situation here?
I may be able to get I could try. I'm imagining I'm gonna try to get like his half of his head back so that you can like speak to us. Like,
So that's what I was suggesting is most likely not going to be possible.
oh, okay.
We can do a roll for it, but you might be able to like hook up his memory core to a computer and
Okay, yeah,
download
that's what I was
everything.
Interesting.
Okay.
But there's no functioning computers inside of the
Yeah.
comm tower that would be capable of doing that.
Okay.
One of the Marines speaks up and says, "We got some tech in the APCs. I don't know if that would work."
It's a long shot, but who else is in charge? Who's the next? Who's the next senior person here before we arrived?
It's just the lieutenant, but he was out on patrol to see if there was anybody else that escaped the mother colony.
When is
That's
his
just gonna
expected?
be.
When is the lieutenant's expected arrival? Return.
He was supposed to come back in about 3 hours. That was an hour and a half ago, so he still got some time.
I guess we should make the best of the next hour and a half. Then hopefully we can make a decision on what to do next when we meet the lieutenant. As for now, what we want to do, what our priority now should be, is to find out who's been in contact with the. We want to know who's been in contact with the general over the past several months, and presumably you soldiers under him should have been seeing him and know where he's been, and let's just get a record of where he's been so we can find out how a synthetic Ozelinski got into the position to pose as the real one.
All right, so you're going to interview.
Yeah, that's my plan for the
everyone
next hour and a half.
Okay. What about downloading his?
I feel like it's
general
not. It's.
memory
I
card.
feel like I want the computer. I feel like maybe if we can bring it to the mother colony, it'd be a better shot than trying to do a makeshift AP. Like the APC tech's not gonna help me here, right? I don't know. You think it'll help? I don't know. Yoko doesn't think it'll help. Yoko's not a synthetic
Okay.
expert. Yoko's likes biology. But
All
I
right,
is okay
yeah,
with
so you guys-
computers.
So you guys, you start your discussions with all the Marines, and you get a pretty similar story. They have, been before the uprising from the of the quarantine people. Several people had, you know, been doing fairly uh, regular uh, discussions and stuff with them as to the status and security of the of both the quarantine people and the transport of the quarantined up for to be put into cryo sleep on the Ilyanla. And there was a period of time. No one remembers speaking with him for a couple months, from about 4 months ago to 2 months ago. There's like kind of a gap where no one seemed to have talked to him in that period of time.
Mhm. When was the revolution? The first revolution that he was leading?
Oh, that was
Years ago?
about 5 months. Yeah, that was like, we'll say it's like 5-6 months ago.
Okay.
That's when that was put to a stop.
What do we know what technology is necessary to create a new synthetic? We know there's like several models, and Ozelinski's not like a known model, right?
Right? Yes, he's not a
So
known model.
right. So
So
my question is like, how hard would it be to make one? Like, what's the
Yeah.
time scale and equipment necessary for that?
I
Resources.
mean, somebody
It
based on a real person. You know what I mean? Like not just a model off the assembly line, but
yeah.
to actually make one that could pass as the original.
So why doesn't you give me a Comtech roll, and we'll see if you are well versed enough in
Yes.
synth manufacturing to be
No,
able
just
to
wasn't.
know.
Yep.
Either Kip or Yoko can do this. Whoever is better at
I'm
Comtech.
probably pretty good at it. Yeah, I am good
Okay,
at it.
go for it.
All right, 2 successes. So Yoko has heard of it being possible to take a blank synth and manufacturing skin over it, because it doesn't have a
Mm.
skull in the traditional sense that gives it an appearance.
Mhm.
It has like synthetic cartilage that is underneath of the skin that gives it its shape. So theoretically, if you had a scan of someone, a 3D scan of someone's face, you could manufacture the cartilage to reproduce that face. Uh, and then you just need a blank synth and the skin, and a way to manufacture the skin as well
Mhm. Mhm.
in order to make it look like someone else.
Okay, so I do think that it was created by someone with reason, like a significant amount of like resource and access to equipment, and probably some synth know-how or a good amount of synth know-how.
Yes,
Okay,
you are very confident that
but the
the
equipment,
person that did this is probably an expert in synths.
expert in
Mm.
synths.
Oh.
Does that help narrow down the list? Do we know like what percent of the population is expert in synths? Like a few named characters,
Uh,
or is it
you are not aware
like
of
5% of people?
there's 5%
That's too
is probably generous.
high.
Um, I mean, there are some synths such as Gaius. He, you don't know what his knowledge level is of synths themselves. Uh, but
He
I
could look it
mean,
up.
you're not aware of any
Gaius could
synth
easily do it. Actually, any
experts
synth could
in the
do it,
Mother
probably.
Colony.
Right? Any synth could probably do it if it just like looked up how to do
Since you have
it.
2 successes, I will confirm that you are confident that any synth, given the time and motivation, would be able to learn how to do it.
Cool. Okay. Well, I think those 4 missing months are key. I'm talking to our team here, and I don't know. It could have been Ozelinski himself. Maybe he knew that he was in a dangerous position, which he was, and wanted to live forever.
What do you think he transferred his? No, did he transfer his consciousness into this thing? Is that even possible?
Look at you and
Nah,
go,
he's dead.
what?
Even if it's not
No.
possible,
There, I mean,
that wouldn't necessarily stop him from trying.
It
his
seems
his
like someone's working to um, implement a plant. Obviously, these Marines didn't know that the real Ozelinski had died.
You're
Um,
right.
we need to find out who planted him. In
Yeah, I think.
fact, when I overheard the rebel um, pirate speaking with Ozelinski, now I don't know which one she was speaking to.
Good.
I raised an eyebrow.
you yeah. So the so just to give you a time frame, that would have been before this gap of time, that all the Marines described, where they hadn't seen or heard from Ozelinski. That would have been well before that. So that was even before, or that was actually during the revolution, which was over 6 months ago.
It could also have been before Ozelinski. It was before Ozelinski died. But like we don't. Basically, the only time we know for sure that the real Ozelinski that we've ever known where the real Ozelinski is when it was his dead body. Any other time we know where Ozelinski was, it could have not been Ozelinski.
Didn't the mayor take his body, or the governor take his body?
Yes, this is correct.
Mm.
I wonder if that helps. They could reconstruct him from that.
Why though?
We don't know. I think the key here is probably whatever Fozelinski was gonna do.
Ozelinski. I love it.
That's brilliant.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Whatever
Oh,
he was
man.
gonna do when he switched in the war room, something triggered, and he was like, what was he programmed to do? That's the key here.
Yeah.
I can work on that now. Now that where's the lieutenant? Now that the lieutenant's arrival time has passed.
Yeah, because I think
Go
both Yoko and Bircher said it best is Uzelinski was better off alive. 'Cause I remember you guys having.
Oh, we did. Maybe the governor did it
That's
because
why you killed him.
That's. I mean, we didn't go out there to kill him. It was more the
collateral damage.
pirates
Yes, I understand.
did that. But my guess is the governor is probably hiding something.
it makes sense for the governor because we already actually hold on a second. Were we covering for his death? I'm confused.
I
You
believe we would.
When we
so
originally brought the
you did
body, we were covering for it and saying we better not let anyone know. It'll cause too much unrest.
that's correct.
But
So
then, yeah.
then you told the governor, you had the governor come down. She saw his body and said, you know, said that she wants to wait until the right time to tell everyone that he is dead because she is afraid it's going to interfere with the the scanning and quarantine and cryo freeze process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So. Okay. I guess I'm just maybe the Solovetsky Island has better equipment to do
Yes, it does.
this analysis of the dead android body and try to recover the memory. I feel like that might be the best plan for the best course. Otherwise, getting to the computer and the mother colony is going to be too difficult.
Knowledge is half the battle.
Or I don't know. Do we want to waste time? I guess that's the key. Do we want to waste time going back to the Solovetsky Island to gather more information before we decide what to do, or do we want to act sooner?
Well, what would be our action? What would we do?
My main interest in the mother colony is recon, to get over there to figure out what the situation is so that we can make sure that it is brought back to a sense of order and can sustain itself and the people to the best of its ability. That's how Yoko's thinking.
That's the same thing I was thinking as well.
You hear a Marine speak up and said, "I can get a few of us in there unseen. I've got no problem doing that." And
to have like a
you
scouting people. Okay.
and you can see, this guy is dressed. He's got light armor on and a sniper rifle slung over his shoulder.
I know what he's doing.
I think that doing that as quickly as possible is a good idea.
Now we have what's her name? Hamana, is that her name on our shuttle?
Hamada, yeah.
Hamada. Could we just have her take it up to the people on the ship and have them work on it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then I can stay down here. Or I can go up. I don't mind.
Actually, oh no, wait, no. I thought you guys left Hamada on the ship in case it got boarded.
Oh, I thought we
Pretty
left her with the
sure.
Yeah.
shuttle.
Now,
Oh,
we can certainly
did leave
say
someone with
any
the
other
shuttle.
crew member is with you. Yeah, I'm going to say that other crew members can be with you if you want someone else to escort the body up there, like a crew member. Like we could say Tan or Quintana or
Tan.
Yeah.
Good old
nobody
Tan.
likes Tan, so send him.
I basically am Tan. I'm playing for the bureaucracy.
All right, so you want Tan to take the body of Ozelinsky up there?
Sure.
I mean, that's just an idea
The
I was
answer is
throwing out.
yes, unless I go. Yoko goes. I guess we want to like split the party again. That's gonna be a big split if we have a group going in and a group not going in. But
You talking Tam?
yeah,
The
let's just
security-
send Tan. Let's just send
Yeah.
Tan and let's sneak into another colony. That's what I say.
I mean, we might need all of our resources, but we don't know what we're walking into. I mean, unless one of us is going to be like an overlord from the
Like
the Ozolins. I mean,
commander.
the Ilyanya is in some kind of a death spiral, though.
Yes.
But planet.
It's not in the well. You don't. It still seemed to be in a stable orbit for now. It's not. It's not in any danger of going into the atmosphere, or tumbling off into space.
Yeah, no,
It's
but
just
it's
just
tumbling.
drifting.
Oh, I thought it was tumbling because I didn't want
Well,
to.
it's kind of it's spinning. It's not, but it's not. It's not going like ass over elbow or anything like that. It's just spinning.
Yeah.
It's just spinning.
Okay.
Through its axis, and
Because we couldn't get
doesn't
on it,
have
right?
any
'Cause it
power.
was spin-
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
just have to spin
docking
upward.
with it would be very difficult, because it's spinning.
Yeah.
Because you dock perpendicular to it with the nose of your ship connecting to its side.
So Kip would need to take us up there if we're going to dock to it and see what's going on there. Which.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I could take Dodge, so we could, if we do a split the party, that's something to do in space. That's something to do.
Yeah, I've got hurling as a skill in case we're going to
Hurling.
Of course, Dr. Bertrand.
You know what's going to happen. So what we're going to do, guys, is break up the party. Split the party.
Well,
I mean, we only got two really. I mean, do either of you guys have anything where you can deal with comms while you're on planet side, or accessing computers, or that kind of.
So it'd be Comtech.
I got a little bit of Comtech.
I have my best friend Glasses, which I don't know if he's still alive.
Yeah, he's not. If you're gonna search for him, he is not amongst the survivors here.
So no, I don't. Unless I get lucky, like I did with.
So doesn't Yoko have a little bit of Comtech?
I'm really good at Comtech.
Okay.
Okay, let's just. I think we maybe just all sneak in. Hey, sniper dude, you think you can get us in there?
All five of us.
We'll look around, count the heads.
Yeah, if we have some kind of schematic or way to get in, without being detected.
Well, we don't need a schematic. I know a lot of secret entrances to get inside of there.
Can you get us
My
directly
my
to the office
I can.
level?
That's
Okay.
going to be a bit more challenging, but I think I
Because I
can
need
do
to
it.
come along because I'm a surgeon in case one of you jarheads go down. I can be there to help
Well,
revive you.
looking at Cliff is like we got to keep this party small. I think it's just going to be the two of us, jarheads. That is
Just as well with two.
me and you and these three. I haven't worked with so many civvies before, but we got to do what we got to do.
Any word from the
I can
lieutenant?
vouch for these guys. Kip's good with a rifle, at least the butt of it.
Yeah.
And Yoko's pretty good with comms and stuff, and Bircher's there.
Hey, I'm
I'm a
not
warm
questioning
body.
you. I'm not questioning your abilities or your purposes in going on the mission. I'm just saying the more heads we got, the more likely we're going to get seen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
I don't want to. I don't want to waste time. Maybe we do send a signal to the lieutenant. Do we have a like a way to like send a message that is like encrypted or?
So, I mean, the Marines have secure channels. They're but I mean, theoretically, if someone had access to that in the mother colony, they would
Mhm.
be able
Mhm.
to hear what you're saying. So it you know, so but that would require that they've either turned some of the Marines or they've
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
stolen they like tortured them or beat it out of them or whatever to
And I
get
think
the frequencies and the
and I think we can
you know what I mean?
communicate like in code well enough, like, oh, the eagle has landed, or like, like messages that mean what we mean but don't say what we don't want to say.
Yeah, the eagle.
At least just to say like, hey, like, are you there? Like, give us a sign that you're
Yeah.
alive. Basically, is all I'm looking for.
Okay. You want to do that?
Yes, I want to try to send. We need to contact the lieutenant before we do anything because they're the next in command. They're presumably going to return, and we all want to be on the same page about what our course of action is. So let's just send a message that says, "Hey, are you out there?" And we are going to do something. That's the message we want to send.
Okay. Yeah. So you get on the comms and in one of the APCs and broadcast out, and you don't get a reply at first, and then uh, eventually someone comes on the radio and this is Private Takamoto. Who am I speaking with?
This is the. This is. What do I say? This is like the what unit? Yeah, I don't know what the word I want to use. This is like just say I'll just shit. I'll say Ozelinski. So sure, I'll say Ozelinski. Ozelinski's command, like Ozelinski's
Unit?
unit, whatever the
Yeah.
word would be.
Okay.
Outpost.
All right. He says, we, we came across something. I don't know what it is. I lost two men, and I got the lieutenant with me. He's not doing too good.
Do you, we can send reinforcements if you give us your location. Give us your location.
I'm heading back to base. I'm still about 10 clicks out.
Copy that, and then let's try to get them. I feel like that makes sense. Assuming they're on their way here from from the direction of the mother colony.
He didn't say. Are you going to try to get like his exact location from
No,
him?
I don't
Or...
want to. I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you're not sure what direction he's coming from,
10 clicks.
but
Does
if
that make
he's coming
sense?
in
Like,
fast and is only 10 kilometers away, then
oh, okay,
he'll
then they're
probably
close.
be. He'll probably be here in like 10-15 minutes.
Okay,
at the
great.
very.
Yeah. Okay, great. So this is good. We can see what the lieutenant has to say, and I do think that the best plan is to send us in there. And if you can get us in, that'll be great. Sniper, dude.
All right, I will get my stuff together. Let me know when you're ready to go. And he steps away and goes into another APC, presumably to get all of the gear. So we can fast forward to the arrival of Takamosho and the lieutenant, unless you guys want to do something else.
We are sending the body back up to the ship, though.
I don't know if we decided on that.
Yeah, I think it would be fine. I mean,
Yeah, I think that.
Yes, let's send it.
Okay.
we just need somebody to competent enough to try to pull out the information and dock the ship
so-
to get on the place. So
Mhm.
So I looked through the crew members' skills, and I think Emily is probably the best. She's got a wits of 5 and comtech of 2. Nobody else has more comtech, and she has the highest wits. So I think
pretty
she's
good.
probably your best bet for trying to download information out.
okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Get her up there, and maybe Dudge could take her up. Dock it.
So she does have piloting. Dudge is up on the ship.
Gotcha. Between them
if-
two, him coordinating with her, she could probably latch onto it.
Okay. Do you want so Tan and Lakota are also with you? Do you want them to go back with Emily, or do you want them to stay?
Who were the two
So
again?
remember, Lakota, she's
We
the
want to keep
medic.
Lakota because the lieutenant's
We
gonna
might
and
need
then-
her. Yeah.
And then
But-
Tan is basically just a bureaucrat. He's not really good at anything.
Well, I mean, he might.
He's good for morale.
Well, I don't know. He's a bureaucrat, but he could provide. Well, we don't need anybody fumbling around with us as we're trying to go inside.
He's
there,
good for
so.
morale.
Maybe he could go up to the ship and we could get him out of the way, and he could organize or whatever any chaos is up on the ship. So you should go with her. But or maybe the medic needs to go up. Maybe both of them need to go up too.
No, I think we need the Lakota because the lieutenant might be injured or is in bad shape.
I'm a doctor too. I'm just saying there's two of us, so we split the.
I'm a doctor too.
I'm a doctor
Right,
too. Dang it!
but you're coming to the mother colony with us. We may need Lakota to stay with the lieutenant.
Oh yeah. That's what I was trying to say. I'll just back answers. Just split us up. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it sounds like Tan and Emily are taking Fozelinski's body up to the Solovetsky Island to try to download information off.
Yes.
All right. So you guys help them load up the general's body into the ship and secure it, and they take off using the same flight pattern that Kip used on his way down. And shortly after they leave, you see an APC in the distance coming in really fast. There is smoke coming off of it. It is driving erratically, and it comes in really fast, slides and slams into another APC. Not so hard that like it flips any of them over, or does any significant damage, but it comes, it collides with another one, and some Marines scramble, and then it just stops. And uh, you can see some movement in the driver's seat, uh, and then it disappears.
No movement.
Pull out my pulse rifle.
All right.
Yeah.
Steady
You
heading
guys
up.
just
Start
gonna
heading up
watch?
there.
Gonna
Nope,
go.
I'm heading
right.
up there.
All
You
right.
going up now?
As you make your way, or as Cliff makes his way up, the side door to the APC starts to slide open,
Take a
and
step back.
you see this young Asian Marine fall out, and he looks like he has several wounds on him. Uh, he's not carrying a weapon or anything, and he says, "the the lieutenant, you got to take a look at the lieutenant. There's something attached to him."
I look at the lieutenant.
All right, you go inside the PC and you see that you see the lieutenant's legs on the cot, but as you turn around the corner, you can see that there is this large starfish-like thing wrapped around his upper torso and his head, and it's almost like it's breathing and pulsating on, uh, and perhaps providing him oxygen.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Did
Hey,
Cliff,
Doc.
Did Cliff see the starfish monsters?
I've seen these before. I've
Mhm.
killed these before.
Cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have one attached to me. We're gonna need a scalpel. So I'll fish one out, um, and go over and start trying to. Oh, geez, cutting through the things gonna suck.
Uh,
Oh,
Yeah, these things are pretty big. They're about like 4 or 5 feet across.
so it's
Uh,
wrapped around his torso and his face.
yeah, his upper torso and his face.
So he's a dead man. Yeah. Oh, geez.
Didn't the last time we found this, the thing put something in him?
Yeah, the guy who we thought was dead wasn't dead, and then was something else.
Now I'm gonna feel his pulse. Take his pulse and see
His
how rapid.
pulse is there, but it's pretty faint. It's about maybe like 30 beats a minute. Um, it's
How long has it been
it's
on him?
steady. Uh, I I don't I maybe an hour. I didn't see it attached to him. There was a whole bunch of survivors, and we tried to help them, and then they started attacking us.
I take a breath and look somewhat defeated, yet I set my jaw and turn around and look at Kip with a knowing.
Can't you get it off him?
No, I'm gonna look at Kip with a knowing look because I know what he wants to do, and I'm more inclined to follow suit now since that last occasion on the ship.
yeah. Okay. So we know the lieutenant's like.
I'm quiet. I just stepped back and grabbed the kid that was
Huh?
freaking a little bit,
All right.
and let's walk out of the room.
Y-
Get ugly.
All right, just
Okay.
keep going in.
Yeah. Kip knows what he's got to do.
On 3.
On 3. Yep. And we'll just unload on this thing.
Give me enough time to light my cigar and
All
Put it in
right,
fully auto. Oh
Three.
wait, it's always on fully auto. That's right. And
broke
you
it.
broke the
away we
switch.
away we go.
Uh,
Or is it pew
and
pew 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 pew? I don't
yeah, so you see, as the bullets, hit him and this thing attached to him, you see all this gore kind of fly out, and it seems to be caustic because it starts burning through both the lieutenant's body and the part of the APC.
Had we encountered that before?
I don't remember it melting anything,
Oh shit.
but I don't remember it getting on us.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember what
Yeah,
The
the
other
so
guys
previous
so
one
survived.
was.
so the ones that you encountered up on the Ilyanlo
Yeah.
did not have acid like blood.
Cool.
This seems to be a different. It seems not only is the effect different, but this is like yellow in color,
Mhm.
where what you saw up on the Ilyanla was more like a reddish purple blood.
Does this look anything like the hand things that were chasing us out of the pit?
No,
Okay.
and in fact, I have. Yeah, I can show you guys this. I didn't have this available when you guys encountered them before. Oh, you can't really actually can't actually see it that well. It doesn't show much detail, but that is that's the underside. What
Right.
is attached to his face?
Of grasping
Um,
at your face.
yes.
Incoming. Yeah. Ew.
It's like a dream.
Mm-hmm. Terrible, terrible nightmare.
And the name is Cuddles. It's the name of the.
Cuddles fish? Cuddles fish?
Okay, so I'm
It's
sure
just
this
oh,
acid, this acidic blood this thing has. I mean, it's gonna slow down in a minute here.
It's just gonna make some speed
yeah.
holes for the
It's
APC.
Yeah,
That's
let's
all.
take it out of the
it's
APC.
gonna yeah it's gonna. There's choke. There's smoke and like filling the cabin. You can cross your fingers and hope it doesn't burn through anything important on the underside, like the drivetrain or anything like that. But yeah, there's not much you can do.
Okay, well,
Don't inhale it.
don't inhale it. Okay, all right, but you're okay. All right, all right. So let that just do its thing. I mean, nothing we can do to stop it, right? Uh, I don't know. Anybody got any baking soda or something like that? Or is it would that
Also, we need basic aliens.
The salt.
salt? All right, all
Maybe
right.
it is basic. Is it basic or acidic?
Oh,
You're not sure. You can take a sample.
ooh, wait, handy dandy pen in my pocket here.
Oh,
Take a
why do
sample.
they
Now,
like to use pens to
Okay.
collect samples on
well,
I
aliens?
don't know.
it's
Yeah, you can get a glob of it. It
a glob
starts
of
the
that.
pen starts smoking.
Quick, can you get
Uh,
a glass vial or something like that? We can throw this into.
I
Me?
feel like someone
a
doesn't Bircher
Bircher,
have
right?
sample stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Bircher will be able to collect the sample and see if he can find anything out about it. He still will be limited. I mean, the dropship is gone, so he'll have very limited equipment here.
Mhm.
We can bring it with us to the colony office level.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you guys should we cut to the recon mission to find out what's going on?
Yeah. Tell the Marines we're sticking to the plan now that the lieutenant is dead. We're in charge. Sticking to the plan.
All right. So the five of you load up into the APC and start heading out. And he says, we're going to have to hoof it about maybe 15 clicks away to make sure that we're not picked up by anything. It's going to be some hard hiking. We need to stick to the mountains. It's going to be rough terrain. You guys ready for all that?
Be all right.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right.
Yeah, we can do this.
So he's not driving, but he's telling Kip where to go, and he directs Kip to go between there's like a small valley between these two mountains, more like large hills that he directs you. We're going to stop here and get out. Everybody stay in a single file. Keep your heads as low as possible when we're moving out in the open. You got me?
Yeah.
Got you.
And nobody
sir.
goes unless I say we go. All right. So we're going to have everybody do a mobility roll to see if anybody panics or doesn't pass.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh,
Oh,
oh
boy.
no.
All right. Goes
Berserk.
berserk. Wow.
Why?
All right. So
What
is
happened?
Miss Kip the only one? Yes.
I pushed and I got a bunch of successes. I can help usher other. I can help anyone else if I can. But
Yeah,
we can't.
I'm
We're
gonna
going single
push
file,
as
so they
well, I
can't.
guess.
I'm sorry, Eric. What'd you say?
I pushed as well. I got a success.
Okay.
Can I?
All right. So, you guys start making your way across, and you hurry along through this open area where you can see the very top of the mother colony. You can see several drop ships up there. It's too far away to make out people, uh, but there are like signal lights up there that are generally only active when there are ships coming and going. As a signal as to where the drop, where the landing pads are, and it's safe to land and that sort of thing. So as you're moving through this open area, uh, Kip is going to trip.
Hold on a
Uh,
second. Hold on a second.
yeah,
He's got a 14. I thought our panic got cleared before we landed.
panic. Oh,
Oh,
Because right now he's got like a really high one that's going to
Wait, I thought that got cleared.
give
Yeah, you're
everybody
right.
stress.
yeah.
Okay. Well, can't we just?
Okay, hold on. Let's make sure. All right, let's see.
Okay.
You rolled
I rolled.
a 6, which is more panic, which is why it bumped up to level 14. So yeah, that should actually, yeah, you shouldn't have. If you roll a 6, that isn't actually a reaction. That just increases your panic level to the next threshold.
I didn't
So
automatically.
yeah, so Kip shouldn't have actually panicked at all. He should
Oh.
have a panic. Essentially a panic of 1 is essentially where he should be,
Sorry.
which is keeping it together essentially.
Shouldn't it be 6?
Um,
6. If you roll the 6, it should be 6.
No, so this doesn't actually correspond to the number of results
Okay,
inside
cool.
of the thing. The first level 1, I believe that's. All right, let me double check. Hold on one second. We should be able to figure this out pretty easily by looking at compare what he got in the table to the.
Says what, he got a 1?
He got he it said level 14, I think.
It says level
Yeah.
14, yeah.
But we need to find the table and see what if 14 is matches what's in the actual table. Hold on one second. Is anyone looking at the table to tell me
I mean,
what?
14 is
No, but
There's
I
berserk.
so
trust
many.
that it is. It trusts that 14 is berserk.
Yeah, it's on page 105 in the rule book. I just thought
Okay,
our panic
and
was
all right.
cleared.
Okay, Doon, you were right. It should be 6 because 1 through 6 is keeping it together.
Okay.
So I was thinking that keeping it together was level 1 and nervous twitch was level 2, but it is actually the result because 14 is berserk, and that's what he got. So it should be 6, which is still keeping it together. Nothing's happening.
Right.
But you guys, Kip starts to lag behind a little bit because he's afraid he's going to be seen by someone. But someone got multiple successes, right?
I got 3.
Yes. So Yoko, notices that Kip is lagging behind and whispers loudly in his direction to come. And you guys make your way through this open area, and you have some cover as there are a series of vehicles parked along the perimeter fence of the mother colony. And just before you get to the end of that column of vehicles, this Marine starts cutting through the fence, and he's holding his hand out, telling to gesture for you guys to wait for a second. And then he gives you the command to go, and the 4 of you start making your way through the fence and up around a maintenance area on the rear of the building. As you start approaching this grate that leads into the air vents, the Marine says, "Wait here. We got to get this open. This is our way in. We can probably make our way up the ventilation shaft onto the second floor and get you guys into the office level." And he starts popping the vent open, and you guys are standing there quietly while he lowers this down to one of you. And that is when Kip notices something sprawled across the wall. It looks like graffiti. And it says, "There is only one mother, and that mother is Michaela." And that's where we're going to stop.
She's a heifer.
Knew it. No, I didn't. Is it MUTHR or whatever? Slash.
What? Oh, no. No, it's not spelled like mother, the computer. But that's, at least her name isn't spelled that way. That would be a cool way to spell the mother colony, because that's the name of the mainframe. But yeah, so we'll pick up there, getting into the mother colony.
Cool.
We were supposed to do XP at the beginning of this session.
Cool.
So if you guys want to stay on for a couple minutes, we could do that now. Otherwise, we can.
I actually have to leave, so I'm in a hurry. So, but
that's
stop
fine.
And I'll catch up. You guys can, yeah.